Greetings, I am the elvish detective, Detective Inspector Time from Dragon's Province. You might have heard of me before, though if you haven't, pleasure to meet you. Today, Shadow is going to be interviewing me. I am not usually the one who is on this side of an interview. But I am very much prepared.
So, how old are you?
I'm over 100, I think. I've lost track. It's been many years. But I appear, appearance-wise, to be my mid-20s. This is in elvish years. In human years, I am mid-20s still, but it's complicated.
Do you have any close family?
I have an extended family who I lost touch with after I changed my last name. Not because I got married or anything, just because I wanted to. Time I thought was an interesting name, you know? Plus I'm devoted to the god of time, alright? I do have an adopted daughter named Marigold, who I love very dearly. So that is my family.
What's your job?
I am a detective inspector for the Civil Guard in Dragon's Province.
Do you have a dream job in mind?
Being the, head of the Civil Guard, the one who tells people what to do, etc., stuff like that. That is my dream job. It's not that far, though, from my current job, interestingly enough. It's just like one step forward. I hope one day I get that job.
What about favorite color?
Probably the color silver. I don't know why I like it, it's just nice looking, you know.
Ooh, do you have any magic?
Oh yes, I have powers. From the god of time. I will tell you two of them, though I have others. One is the ability to freeze time. It allows me to look around a crime scene or any other scene and see stuff frozen for a period of time, for about a minute or so. And then I have the ability to see the past of an object. Feel and see. But I can't see all of it.
If you had to give up your hobbies and only keep one, which would you keep?
So assuming I got rid of all my hobbies except for one, which one do I keep? Well, so not to offend the god of time, because I suppose me being a devotee to him is like a hobby. Though, not really, but it sort of counts. I would keep that. I'd keep my magic. I'd keep magic training. I would not keep sword fighting because that's not as important. My magic is what is important, so I would keep that.
You're in the middle of a battle, and what do? Do you like magic, weapons, that stuff?
I can't do both. Both is not my answer. Alright, fine. What I would do, I would use my magic and freeze time, and in that time my opponent was frozen, I would knock them unconscious. And then when time resumed, I would be able to arrest them, supposedly. Or defeat them. But that is what I would do.
What's one gift you've always wanted but never received?
Friends of mine don't understand that every single gift they give to me does not have to be detective themed. Just because my name is Detective Inspector Time, that's my title, not my first name, just Detective Inspector is a title. I seem to get magnifying glasses and other detective things, which are very unhelpful if you have like 50 of them. So what instead I would like to get is, a load overall and host balls occasionally. You don't? Well, I'll continue anyways. So there are really elaborate robes, and I would like one of those as a gift. I have bought some for myself at times, but I would really like someone to give that to me as a gift. Please.
What's your worst nightmare?
I have a fear of losing my job, my status, everything I care about. I believe I've had this fear ever since I've lost a friend of mine. She's not dead. She's just lost in a dream, I'll just say that. She's not awake.
Do you value your biological family or found family more?
I prefer found family over real family. As you already know, I do not have a good relationship with my extended family. I do, though, have an adopted daughter named Marigold. She's not biologically related to me, but she is family. But I prefer found over biological.
Your name, is there any meaning behind it?
I think you can guess what my last name means.
What's the one thing you can't live without?
This sounds rather morbid, but murder. I cannot live without a case to solve. And I'm not phrasing this very well, but there's something very good about capturing a killer, preventing other murders from happening. And I very much enjoy bringing a killer to justice. I'm not phrasing this very well, but that's what I can't live without.
Is there like a challenge in particular you're working to overcome?
Well, I'm currently working on a case, which would normally be classified, but I can give out one detail. It's about the murder of royalty. I've been trying to catch a killer who has been murdering kings and queens. So that is all I can say about it, but that is what I'm working on.
What's your most treasured possession?
One of my prized possessions was a scarf my mother sewed for me. It was blue, and it had a pattern embroidered on it of one of the god Carleon's tricks. He has several, believe me, but this one involved him shapeshifting into different animals, and it was so beautiful.
Are you an early bird or night owl?
I work for very long periods of time, so night owl. It's not unusual that I would pull an all-nighter on a case. Fortunately or unfortunately, but that is a fact.
Is there one person you would never want to see again?
Horatio. It's complicated, but me and him are not on the best terms. Which is why I do not want to see him again.
And who's one person you totally want to see again?
Arisius. I want to see Arisius again. She's in a coma. I do not want to discuss it further.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I want to go to the area where the criminals reside. As in the area where most crime happens, but there aren't a lot of authorities. It's not a specific place, but it is a place nonetheless. The reason I want to do this is because I want to go undercover. I've never gone undercover, but I want to go undercover and perhaps stop a crime in action or something.
Do you have a role model in particular?
Alright. This is a bit complicated. I have several role models, but I'll discuss two. One is a now retired detective who inspired me when I was younger. He was in Dragon's Province. I'll just call him Detective B. He has several enemies, and I do not think it's good for me to discuss his name openly like this, so I'm just going to call him Detective B. So, I saw him when I was younger solving a crime. The jewelry shop had been robbed. Thankfully, it was not murder. I would have been scarred if it had been murder then. But he inspired me to want to be a detective. I just saw him solving the case and I thought, gods, I want to be this when I grow up. So anyway, he inspired me to want to be a detective, and he is basically a role model to me, even now. But another role model, the second role model, or rather inspiration, I don't exactly want to be her, but she's an inspiration, Arisius, my friend. She's a detective, or she was a detective. I'm not going to talk to her in past tense. I'm not going to talk about her in past tense. She has been an inspiration to me. She works so hard. She's a princess, but she's amazing. You should see her in action. Well, I wish you had seen her in action when she was awake, but those two are my role models.
What's your favorite food and why?
Elvish pumpkin soup. My mother always made it for me. and now I make it for Marigold. And I just love it.
What's your least favorite food? Is there any reason why, or do you just not like it?
I don't very much like carrot stew. It's just the texture of it I do not enjoy. I don't really have any bad memories of it, except maybe for that one time I vomited on my mother after eating too much. Maybe that's why I dislike it. But I don't like it at all.
Do you like working in smaller or larger groups?
Is medium-sized groups an option? No. Alright. Small groups. I don't want a crowd working with me on a case. I prefer to limit it to a few people, that is, Abrisius, Marigold, and maybe a few others, but no one beyond that. So, small groups is what I prefer.
Let's get into some secrets here. What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Probably jumping to conclusions on a case. I've only done it once or twice, but it was still bad nonetheless. I basically followed a red herring, if you know what that means. And that is the worst thing I have done in my career as a detective.
Favorite childhood memory?
One fond childhood memory I have is playing adventure games with my mother, based on myths, legends, stuff about gods and goddesses, things like that. One notable game we'd often play was me being the dragon and her being a knight trying to kill me. A human knight, I should clarify. Elves love dragons, but humans do not have a good relationship with them at all. So anyway, I beat the dragon, and there was a point where I got rather scared. You see, I couldn't distinguish fact and fiction back then, so I really did think my mother would try to kill me, or like, as she said, it was make me sleep. Well, but anyway, I couldn't distinguish from fact and fiction back then, so I actually was scared at times, but it was very, very fun.
Least favorite childhood memory then?
Well, I have a childhood memory of going to the Festival of Magic and getting lost in the crowd. I didn't know anyone there. There were priests and priestesses to different goddesses and gods out there, but I didn't know anyone. Had it not been for the priest of the god of time, I would have been lost because I didn't know anyone. And I was so young then. But anyway, Mother Priest, the god of time, helped me get back to my mother, and I believe this was how the god of time first heard about me, through one of his priests. So not an awful memory, but rather bittersweet.
DI time. I know you're friends with the god of time. What's your exact relationship like, though?
Kind of like brothers in a way. We're not biologically related, of course, but we're like brothers. He often teases me, I often tease him. It's like that. Most people have said the god of time is stoic. Interestingly, I've never seen him that way, but I think I brought the playful side of him out. Thank you for interviewing me, Shadow. It was very interesting. I don't know if I would do it again. Well, viewer, if you've enjoyed seeing me suffer through questions, you can go see Shadow suffer through questions now when I interrogate her. I mean, interview her. Interview her. I'm not interrogating her. Interviewing her. So, if you want to see that, come follow me. I will take you there.